in the movies and in stories, we always hear about cash money frozen in the freezer and clowns hidden in the closet. Today, that comes true. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Today's guest, Alex, just a ton of fun talking to this guy. And as always, we hit on a ton of subjects. A couple just to let you know: Bubbles, the circus performer, TV shows, which we always have fun talking about, and family. So let's get to it.
Free night.
What kind of camp is your wife? Is at what camp?
She works at Camp Riverbend. It's a kids camp, in Watchung, and they've been in business over 50 years, and she's the cooking expert now this year, and she works with kids from I think it's 3 to 10, and she's the cooking lady. And my daughter goes.
Is it like a day camp?
Yeah, it's a day camp. Oh, absolutely. It's a day camp.
There you go. And you can pull that way
Yeah,
too. If you
that's
want.
fine. I just want to make sure.
Can you hear? You can hear me as well.
Oh yeah,
right?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
good.
great. Is there a way to tilt it up a little?
Yep.
Without.
There you go.
Okay.
See it?
This part. Just I don't want to.
Oh, why is that not?
Okay. I thought it was me.
No. There we go.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, the reason I bought this arm for guests is because I get all shapes and sizes.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's got to be able to go both. Kind of got to go all
around.
Yeah.
I understand.
To the one I use, it doesn't matter.
No,
'cause
I understand.
to
I have a
them
little
this much.
setup. I don't have the screen, but I have the. I think I have the same microphone as well.
Oh, okay.
But I've done a little podcasting for a friend of mine doing reviews of shows, Walking Dead, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah.
Who's?
It's called Panels to Pixels,
Oh, okay.
and you should check it out. They do a lot of 70s and 80s, all superhero, Marvel.
Oh, not anything recent or
They
just?
do no, they do all the recent stuff too.
Oh,
they,
okay.
They just did a huge movie review of the Endgame.
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 Marvel.
Marvel
Yeah.
Comics. Yeah.
I just had Chris over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to that one. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. He's Jesus Christ, man. That dude's full of stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And the guy, it's funny. I got involved with this because of my wife podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the road all the time.
So wait a minute. Your wife has a podcast?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she listens and she's like, Alex, you need to start listening to podcasts. You're on the road too much.
Oh, there's life before and after. It's
Well-
amazing if you're on the road.
And I'm a big Walking Dead fan.
Oh, okay.
So I found a Walking Dead cast. That's actually the name of it. And then last year at this in October, they had a Comic-Con in Edison. So I didn't get to go because I had to work, but I met everybody because I was a Patreon and part of the group. So I
Right.
met all these people. That turned into a whole Facebook community. I watched the finale of Game of Thrones with all these guys.
Oh, how fun was
Yeah,
that?
it was.
Yeah.
Oh, outside, it's lightning behind, and you're watching the finale of Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow. So it was an outdoor theater?
It was it was somebody's house. They just had a projector.
Projection?
It was awesome.
Oh.
And we all been talking about it for months and everything else. And this guy Jason, he has this podcast. He has Podcastica, and then from that he has a couple of podcasts as well. So there's like this whole little community
Yeah,
that
of
I've
course.
learned about
Yeah.
that I never even knew. And now I'm watching Handmaid's Tale, and this girl.
Oh, that is so dark, man.
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
it
it's
can't get
amazing.
any worse. Like the last
Well, you
episode,
think, and then
and then it gets worse, and you're like, how do these people? I love it. I stupidly binge watched the first two seasons in like a week, and I'm going crazy because it's like nightmares and I'm like, but I can't get enough of it.
Well, was it 2 seasons?
They're in their third season now.
Oh, third season
they're-
showing now?
oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, man. I'm so far behind on
Let
that
me
show.
tell you, it is the best. It's the best, worst TV in the world, and I love it.
I was just going to say, that's the best kind, isn't it?
Oh,
You're like, this is horrible.
It is.
Next.
And I
Next.
told my wife, you can't watch this. Not because of anything. It's just, she just doesn't have being a middle school teacher, that's a horror show as it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, she loves her kids, don't get me wrong, but it's a heavy show.
Yeah,
And,
Watching that compared to
anything.
teaching school, that's a little different.
It's just you have to on a lot of these shows. And what's nice about the podcast that I love about you can dissect the stuff, and people just the cat was there.
Yeah. You don't mind cats. So
no.
That's my production assistant.
I see, and
yeah. I don't know how much work she fucking gets done around here.
What
but-
else? What else is
Yeah,
new? You know?
yeah.
But no, it's neat because there's people that are so detailed about this stuff that you don't.
Oh my God!
It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as someone that is kind of like in the background, I like this stuff, but these people are obsessed, and I love it. And I love it. It's so great. And now I'm starting to get really into it. And maybe one of these days I'll start doing something on my own.
What would you do a subject on?
I like you. I love stories, but in my business, I like health and safety related type stuff.
Right.
So, I'd like to maybe try to look at that and how that works. Getting people that have overcome, whether it's weight loss or heart attacks or whatever, things like that. But, I was listening to a couple of your podcasts just to kind of prepare myself for this.
Sure.
And the one thing that really, the one thing that I love is characters. And I think you're along the same lines.
Oh yeah, I love getting people on here, and some of the stuff that is not at this point is not on my SoundCloud, but I have 10 or 11 in the bank here that I'll just put out at one every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this. And the way I have it set up is there's no cap or ceiling, and that's why I say kitchen table, because now we can come on and talk about anything.
Right, absolutely.
Right, so you and I will probably end up going down 15 different directions and whichever way we go. And that's what I like about it, because like business podcasts, I love them.
Oh, yeah,
but
no.
there's plenty of them.
No.
Politics and religion, fuck, dude. I mean, you could spend all day talking about that stuff, and how fun. And where do you get from there?
This is where I was going to go with it. I grew up. I'm the youngest of 4. My family owned a liquor store. I was around characters.
Yeah, imagine.
And
where was the liquor store?
It was
here in Jersey.
It was in Summit, New Jersey, and we had a bottling factory. We had so much at one point. My uncles all worked there. My one uncle, his name was Issa, but they called him Bubbles because
how'd you get from Issa to Bubbles?
Because he knew all the recipes to all the formulas.
Oh, okay. So Bubbles was it, huh?
Yeah, I mean this guy was a character.
Was he like skinny as a rail and they
No.
call him Bubbles, or was he a big guy?
Big guy, strongest man you'd ever want to meet. I have a picture of him with my dad when he was a baby, holding him in his hand with one hand. He was a circus performer. And
Your Bubbles was a circus. Now this is coming together. Bubbles in a circus.
I mean, you can't make some of this stuff up. And then there's my Uncle Sam, who was a World War II hero. And, everybody says that, but he actually really was, despite his own self. He captured 75 men in World War II because he knew Arabic, and he's like, hey, guys, come on over. They're in Africa. Come on over cigarettes, because they wanted American cigarettes. And he's like, come this way. Oh, no, you'll be fine. All these guys.
Boom.
What exactly? Goes through World War II, second wave of D-Day, not a scratch. Goes to Africa, not a scratch. Comes home, slips on some ice in his car, hip goes out. Can't go to Ohio State to play football. I mean, you can't make
shit.
you can't make it up. You can't make it up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I grew up. I add and subtract on the cash register when I was 8 years old, and we had this corner store, and you see all these people. And, I was listening,
Oh,
like
man,
I said.
you got a corner store, the cashier at a corner store, man. You see
Everything. I mean, I didn't know what Night Train was, but I know now. What the hell were these people drinking? Thunderbird, Night Train. I mean, this stuff.
they didn't care.
And the best part was, you get these guys that come in, they get their fifth in the morning, get their fifth at night, and it's like, hey, that's how they survive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's funny because my family store was Baelish Liquors, and it's no longer. It hasn't been in existence for a long time, but I always get people, oh, yeah, I used to go to Baelish's. Back then, they used to deliver. Oh, I used to, have stuff delivered to my house years ago when I was a kid. If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me
says
that.
Yeah. And you've lived in Jersey your whole life.
Born and raised. I grew up in Summit, fourth generation in Summit. If my daughter was born in Overlook Hospital, it would have been the fifth.
Where was she born?
In St. Barnabas.
Oh, okay.
But if she's born here, I mean, in New Jersey,
Jersey.
it was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
we just didn't go to Overlook. My family started out. My great grandfather started. All the Arabs, I'm Middle Eastern, Syrian and Lebanese. They started out in Patterson, in the silk mines, as I like to call it.
In the silk mines.
And
Now, when did they come out? Your parents? Your parents or your grandparents?
no, my great grandparents.
Okay.
Great grandparents. They came over. I have no idea. I know I should
shut
know.
our phone off. dude.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we
sure.
got to do that. Jeez, it's waiting for
Well,
my.
it's part of our culture now, So
All right, now we're back to. So they come over, and he's in Patterson, and he's like, "We got two choices: either we die here or we move." So they moved to Summit. They own a grocery store. They live above it, and my grandfather had was one of five, and they had this grocery store, and then they're like, you know what, we're going to expand. They ended a bottling factory. Big Boy Cola, Orange Crush, that was all us originally. And then the war came. There was no sugar. So everybody had to go off to war, no sugar and nobody to run it. So everything kind of, defunct, so to speak. But,
well, then you got the behemoth of Coca-Cola.
just little things like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a small company.
But, it's...
Well, you know a fact with Coca-Cola why they're worldwide? I worked for Coca-Cola for 20 years.
Okay.
World War I or two, I'd assume. Two.
Yeah.
The president wanted a U.S. soldier anywhere in the world to be able to buy a Coke for a nickel.
There you go.
So they threw up all these plants, and then once the war was over, they're like, fuck, we might as well just stay
Let's
here.
make some money.
Yeah. might as well hell, we got the operation. Let's just stay here.
Yeah.
And that's why you see, like, in a third world country, they don't have any drinking water, but they got a Coke machine on the corner.
Hell,
you know?
I mean, there's something to be said for that. I mean, one of the most, and I want to read the. I actually not read. I'm not a big reader. I listen to stuff on
Audible
CD,
and stuff.
Audible and all that. I watched the movie Founder.
I love that movie.
Isn't
He did
it-
such a fucking good job. Michael Keaton.
Oh,
Holy Christ. I don't think it was one of those movies. I saw it and I was like, all right, I'll watch it.
I'll bite.
And it ended, I think, if I remember right, it ended with him like looking in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And then it ended, and I was like, and of course it goes into the little black and white thing. But I was like, holy shit, I didn't even move. I didn't get off the couch.
I know.
I just like fucking sat here and stared at the TV. It was so well done, and I didn't know he was such a dick.
Oh, please. He was a dick because he had to be.
Well, yeah. Obviously, you can only go by what the editor
Exactly.
and the producer's
Exactly.
vision was,
Exactly.
right? But the way he screwed the brothers over, and then got in the real estate business and
that's
doing
the
all
key.
that,
I mean, and when you think about it, they own all the land for every McDonald's.
Yeah, you saw that in the movie. I knew that McDonald's biggest moneymaker wasn't fucking hamburgers.
Right.
It was real estate.
Right.
And McDonald's corporate,
Right.
obviously. And when I watched that show, the lawyer or whoever it was like, no, dude, you should
Right.
buy the land, franchise, and do it that way. Brilliant.
Oh,
Fucking
I mean, and
brilliant.
that, I saw a lot of like I was saying, we had that family business.
Yep.
And you see so many different things that go through your mind. You know, when you watch a movie, when you watch a great movie, it brings you to different places.
Yeah, of course.
And what was fascinating about him was he had one goal. He just needed to find the product to make it work.
Right.
And that product was the hamburger and the system. It was more the system.
Well, I was just going to say
the system.
it was-
wasn't the hamburger. It was the system.
Yeah, when he saw how they had it laid out and how efficient and everything, he's like, "You guys need to expand." No, we're family and da da da. And he's like, "Fuck no, dude.
No. And the funny part is, you know, I worked at Starbucks.
Fuck Starbucks."
You know something? Never liked a day I worked there, but in terms of business, it was
Brilliant.
the greatest experience of my life.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know, the uniform. Why do you have a uniform? You don't have to think about what you do. They have everything so timed.
Yep.
And I worked at a liquor store growing up, and I worked at a coffee place. I don't like coffee and I don't drink. So what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Well, but the thing is too, like when I say that about Starbucks
Yeah.
business model,
Oh, forget
fucking
it.
brilliant,
It's
right?
the greatest.
I'm just not a fan of it, and I have a longer story for why I'm not a fan of it. But
And that's fine.
yeah, but the thing is, though, look what you learn, and now you're in your own business,
Yeah.
right? So
Despite my best effort, I think I'm successful. As I always tell my wife, you know, when she needs money, there's money in the account. So that's all that matters.
hey, the lights on, it's warm and dry in your apartment, and you got food in the refrigerator, right?
Absolutely.
You know.
You said a mouthful there.
With that being said, though, the different levels of what people think success is. You know, you have this whole thing going around nowadays where it's entrepreneurship and own your own business and do that and do that. But what about the guy that works 40 hours and goes to it and teaches his son's softball, I guess, whatever, team, and sits and drinks like, what's his name, Hank on,
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just,
what the hell's that cartoon?
jeez. Now you're killing me.
The barbecue guy.
Yeah,
you
I know what you're talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I know you're going to edit this out. Probably
No,
not.
I don't.
I know you don't edit.
Yeah,
I know you don't edit. That's
No
why-
editing, dude. This is live, brother.
when I was listening to the infamous Tommy Hilkin, because he's
Yeah.
not Tommy or Hilkin, I was saying Waterboy.
Oh yeah. I got that comment a lot on my social media feed. Everybody's like, "It was fucking Waterboy," and I'm like, "I knew that.
I know you knew that. I know you knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And of course, it's on the tip of your tongue.
But the thing is, like, if that might be success to somebody, and running a $30 million company and working 150 hours a week might be success to somebody else. So it all depends on what you fucking think success is, man.
You know, it's funny. I have this conversation with myself a lot. And I don't ever see myself as successul. And I know that's not something you should say, but it's just true.
What keeps you driving forward,
And
though?
it does keep me driving.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always have this debate with an old friend of mine who's passed. Is it worth going to college or is it not worth going? This is what we used to talk. This is like kind of one of those debates.
Before you, did you go to college?
I did go to college. I ended up graduating from Fairleigh Dickinson with a history degree, which means I could sell real estate or I could.
Well, then with your history degree, probably lands the same. My non-degree lands.
Exactly. And
Right.
and we'd always go back and forth with it. And you know, he was a very smart person, and I've always had challenges in school. I have severe dyslexia, and in terms of, you know, I don't know if you remember back in the day, they used to have those SRA cards. They were like,
Oh God, you're going way back,
yeah,
dude. Yeah.
I used to read upside down. My teachers would yell at me, and it's funny because I could read upside down better than I could read right side up.
Oh man, so those like tests on Facebook where it's all like,
Oh, I'm
jitter,
great.
I can read through those with no problem.
Well, the funny part is,
Most of them.
I actually listened to, speaking of podcasts, the woman from Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran, and she had her latest podcast was talking about how dyslexia helped her through her career. And I'm like, because when I was in the insurance business, I could write upside down. You know, you think.
Oh, so if you're sitting across the table like
I
you
could
are
do
with
numbers
mine-
upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I mean, yeah, it's an acquired, you know, it's something you acquire just like anything else. Or I could read upside down, so when people are doing stuff, I could read it. They might not know it. But my point being is, you know, that's something I struggle with is my challenges and what I'm trying to do and success, because do I want that 9 to 5 job? Well, I'm not a 9 to 5 job person at this point in my life.
Right.
I would love that 9 to 5 job. I mean, I want that benefits and I want the
tell
big
you,
check.
I tell you what, I'm back in the, well, quote unquote corporate world, but my job is it's a little different. But having that paycheck
It's great.
every 2 weeks,
It's great. There's nothing better.
to me, that's comforting, right? So again, going back to success, right?
Right.
I can do this at night. I can spend the time I want with my family and at the gym. I like being in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I can work, 60, 65 hours a week, and I have a nice balance that way.
And I say this all the time, and my wife is a teacher, like I said, and she does very well. And she allows me to do all this crazy stuff.
Oh, nice.
Being a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, when it's good, it's great, and when it sucks, it blows.
Oh yeah, well that's kind of the definition of an entrepreneur.
But you'll appreciate this. I mean, now I know your wife has been in sales, so she's not that corporate type in the sense that she's always trying to make that sale. My wife, she's 9 to 5, X amount of months. So when I first met her, I always hand out my card. And she's like, why are you always handing out your card? I'm like, because if I don't hand out, that's money every time I hand out the card.
Absolutely.
Well, then she got me a job, and then all of a sudden, give me more cards. So she understood, that.
So you're saying so like when I met my wife, her and I were both in the same type of business.
Right.
So she understood okay, I'm networking until 8:00 at night, and then I have a 6:30 meeting in the morning. Blah 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
To where a teacher might not be in that mindset. Yeah, I could see that.
It's just a different world, and it's not good or bad. It's just different.
Yeah, no.
And now she understands it, and she tolerates it, and she loves it, and but it's not her thing at all. It's just this is my thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I've conned her / strong-armed her into becoming an instructor. I say that jokingly because we do babysitting courses. We do things for all levels.
Right.
And she's great at it. And one of the things that I found fascinating about, talking about people, I have a different communication approach than she does. She has a whole year to make a rapport with somebody.
You got an hour.
And I have
well,
10
not
minutes.
even 10 minutes. Yeah.
Hey, this
well,
is
I'll tell
Alex.
you, when Val and I took your course, and just real quick, so we got some context. What
Yes.
do you do?
Oh, I teach safety courses, CPR, first aid, OSHA training, all sorts of good stuff.
When my wife and I took your course, I left there and I went, that was just fun.
Yeah.
You're just a smart ass, dude.
Well, you have to be.
Oh, dude, just some of your comments and your banter, and I was like, now see that I can communicate with that.
It comes down to this. I talk about serious topics, and the only way you're going to remember it is one of two ways. I could hit you over the head with facts,
scare the fuck out of you,
or we can make it fun.
Yeah.
And you're going to remember little things, and that's all I care about, because I really do believe that the more people that are just on the same page with stuff when it comes to emergency type stuff and CPR, the better off it is, because it's not if something happens. I mean, we've all had. I mean, it's when. I mean, we all have ups and downs in our lives. It's how do we handle it, and I think, I know you've had some challenges. I've had challenges that we'll talk about if you want. I mean, there's a lot that goes on, and it's how people handle it. And I think today is a lot different than it was when we were kids. And I know everybody says that, but our cell phone doesn't go on. It's a piece of shit right away. Like it's just a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Now,
and if you don't text me, why the fuck aren't you texting
Exactly.
me?
There's no patience.
No. But we created that.
Exactly. And I'm just as guilty. And I think that, how we handle things is the real key. And that's something I work on every day. And I'm not saying I'm good at it.
Well, speaking of, you'll get a kick out of this because what you do, you listen to The Moth?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Podcast.
Oh, okay.
Storytelling podcast.
Yeah, okay.
There was a lady on there. When my wife and I travel, we drive That's our go-to storytelling. Great stuff on there. And they do have to work. Whoever is their audio engineer needs to reconsider how they do things. Because
Note to self: get a better engineer.
Well, it's like the intro music's like wah in your face, and then the guy or the lady talking is talking like this.
Yeah.
And then the narrator is talking and it's just all over the place. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was I going? Oh, and the lady was a stewardess,
Okay.
flight attendant, stewardess, whatever, PC, fuck, whatever.
Absolutely.
Right?
I am so.
She's the lady that takes care of you when you're on a flight.
You can't even say that because that could be
shit!
bad.
Oh god, man, damn, dude, good call. Holy Christ! Anyway, so we'll move on. We know who we're talking about. She was telling a story that she was giving CPR to a guy in the aisle, and a lady kept
Yeah.
banging her on the shoulder, going, "Miss, miss, miss," and she's like, "Hold on, I need to do this." Here's a guy laying in the fucking aisle. And she's like, "Miss, miss," and she goes, "Okay, maybe this lady is like a doctor or right." She
Something
goes,
important.
and she kind of she goes, I paused from doing CPR to look at this lady, and she goes, hands me her coffee cup and says, "This is cold."
Of course.
Are you fucking kidding? I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
It's funny.
So going back to what we were just talking, that's what made me think of it.
Yeah, people have to have a little context in life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I have a 4-year-old daughter, and one of the things that I think that I've realized is I need to be more patient, and I think that's why I have a 4-year-old daughter is for patience. Because when you have this person, you want them they want everything right away. And they want it now, or it's like total meltdown. And I'm trying to parent or train her as I'm doing my little air quotes. Exactly. And everybody needs to just get out of their way and just take a breath.
See, I use a very common hashtag I use. I'll start using it on this podcast, but on my personal.
Yeah.
Is it's not all about you.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said for that. And, when you're dealing with serious stuff or not serious stuff, you have to just be in the moment. That's what I always tell people. Take the blinders off and be in the moment and say, we're going to do this, whatever this is, whether it's doing this podcast or whether it's doing CPR or whether it's, doing your business. Yeah,
whatever.
Your business, whatever.
No, and I'm a big fan of being in the moment. It's like, this morning my alarm goes off at 4. I get dressed. I go to the gym. I'm at the gym. I know that I have to go to work.
Of course.
But am I thinking I'm going to work? No, because I know that's going to happen.
Right.
Right? So, and then when I'm at work, I'm at work.
Yeah.
Just be in the fucking moment. Especially what gets me, I think that not a lot of people talk about it, is when you're with your partner.
Yes.
Sexually or just hanging out, watching, or not even watching anything, just hanging out. They're either on their fucking phone, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Or, if you're screwing around sexually, you're like thinking ahead.
Oh, of course.
Or you're thinking in the past, or you're thinking that shit, let's get this done so I can watch The Walking Dead.
Or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Trust me,
I had to throw that in there to
Of course
jab
you
you.
did. Of course you did. No. But you're right. I think, and I don't know when this started. I mean, obviously it wasn't. It's happened pretty quick.
Right.
But the patience. I mean, and it's gone through everything. Nobody wants to compromise at all. Nobody wants to. Everything, like you said, it's all about them. And because I am here, I need to be heard. And growing up, I don't think it was good that you should be seen and not heard as a kid, because sometimes you should be heard. Mm-hmm. But now it's gone. We've gone so far to the opposite side where everybody needs to be heard, and there's sometimes
It's just a bunch of fucking noise, man,
Yeah.
and nobody's.
You need a cup of coffee while I'm doing CPR. I need to do this.
Yeah. But just everybody needs to be heard, but nobody's listening.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And it's like the famous. So I tried a podcast. Of course, this is called Kitchen Table, right?
I'm looking for the food. I
Well,
was going to bring food.
this is no. Always bring food.
I'm mad at myself. I was going to bring something, and
Any future people listening, bring food.
he likes lots of food.
My Achilles heel is chocolate chip cookies, and
there you-
don't fucking bring them because then I'll start eating them, and that's just more hours in the gym.
Absolutely.
And I spend enough time in the damn gym. But so growing up, the idea I got this was growing up, kitchen table, kitchen itself is the fucking focal point.
Absolutely.
And that's with everybody, I assume.
Absolutely.
Where I say it over and over again, and people listening, they hear me say it all the time, is the kitchen is standing room only, and the 3 rooms around it are fucking empty,
Absolutely.
right? But it gets so loud, and you got 15 people, 16 people talking. Nobody can hear anything, and you got 6 different conversations
Yep.
going on, right? So I had some friends here, and we brought our table over, right? And we had 6 people,
Okay.
but only 2 mics like this because I was interviewing a guy.
Right.
But then we heard everybody talk. It's just fucking too much.
And that's
It's just too much. You can't have a conversation like this,
right.
you know? And I think it would be unpleasant for somebody listening to listen to that because there's just a bunch of.
It's a lot of chat. But there's, like you said, though, a lot of great conversations, a lot of good stuff happen at that table. And I
Yeah.
think that's a great way to look at it because I just know, and growing up, we lived in a pretty big house. And one of the smallest rooms in our house was the kitchen.
Fuck, everybody's in
But
it.
everybody's in there.
Yeah.
And how my mom dealt with 4 kids, and my brothers both wrestled, and we lived right down the street from the high school. And
All your buddies would come with you home?
all my brothers' buddies. I'd come downstairs, and they'd all be on the floor in the living room because they all had a match the night before, and we were the closest one. They were the
so
closest
they
to
all
us.
pile it. Oh,
They
okay.
just all pile in there, and it was
Oh,
just
nice.
I had like 27 extra brothers, that I didn't want or need.
Yeah, right.
But it was. You're right. It's all about the kitchen. It's all about food. It's all about good conversation and friends.
Yeah, and where I talked to a guy a couple of years ago maybe, and we got talking about eating and talking and visiting and food and all that, and he brought up that food when we're sitting here together eating, that means success.
Absolutely.
Because back in the day, when the earth was just cooling down, kind of thing, my
Absolutely.
parents used to say, if we're all huddled around the campfire eating, we had a good day.
Absolutely.
And now you're bonding over food, the whole breaking bread thing.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and I've had people wanting to come on here, but they can't make it. And I actually, when I bought all this equipment, I figured I was going to do some portable shit. Right?
Right.
So I can take this other places,
Right.
right? But like doing it over the phone or Skype,
Just
of
not the
course
same?
there are some you can't help it,
Right.
but it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same sitting here.
Yeah, shooting the shit and
That's it.
having a good time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny. My mom is the keeper of all the recipes. Okay. In our family, and being Middle Eastern, and this is the only political thing I will say. Okay, there's a reason why there's no peace in the Middle East.
Everybody's fighting over food.
Well, if you ask most Middle Eastern people where can you get the best Middle Eastern food, they're only going to say one person, their mother.
So they can't agree on anything.
The problem is they can't agree on food, so they can't agree on anything like that's bigger than that. So my point being is, it's just hysterical because my mom taught me how to make tabbouleh a couple of weeks ago, and it was like this mystery thing to me. Like, oh my God, she's making tabbouleh. It takes 4 hours. It's really not that hard. It's labor intensive, but it's not that hard. And it was just great because I was showing my daughter, and she had no interest yet because she's 4, but. She likes
and
to
it lasted
play.
more than 40 seconds.
Pretty much, but and plus I wouldn't let her mess with it because we can't mess with the tabbouleh. It's like its own food group.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring you any. I am sorry, but I know I'm a jerk.
Jesus.
But you know what? There's like this bond, and growing up, we were the only Arabs that we knew growing up. Okay, meaning this. I grew up in Summit. didn't have a lot of extended relatives or whatever. We had my mother's cousin who lived in Brooklyn, who we went back and forth with, and we just didn't know a lot of people of the same ethnicity. So I ended up going to church, and this particular church that I go to, there's a lot of Middle Eastern people. And what's funny is you realize how ununique you are. Okay? I'm in this church with a bunch of people that are from Egypt, people from Lebanon, people from this, people from that, and we all act exactly the same. And I'm saying to myself, what the heck? And you're looking at these people and you're like, okay, now I understand. These are my people.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, not that it's hysterical how you're part of a collective and you don't even realize it.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. It was really an eye-opening and comforting yet scary thing to be around.
Sure. Now, are both your parents from?
My mother is I'm Lebanese and Syrian. So my father's side is from Syria. My mom's side is from Lebanon. But like I said, I'm fourth generation, fifth generation. My wife. It's funny. My wife is her parents came over from Scotland. And she's first.
I can see that now. Yeah.
And when you look at my daughter, thank God she looks like.
Well,
the Scottish
I wasn't
side.
going to say that.
I'm saying that. But what's funny is everybody thinks, oh, she's been here the longest. I'm like, heck, she's one step away from a green card, and she's obviously an American citizen. But it's just so funny because we came over. The only reason why people came to America was it was bad. Going to the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, her father was the youngest or in the middle of an Irish farm. Well, the guy that got the farm was the oldest kid. So the rest of them were out. So they moved.
Yeah.
He moved to Scotland. He met his wife.
So no opportunity. So we gotta go find something else to do.
And he became a successful union mason.
Over here in the States.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's great. I mean, my mother-in-law, she cleaned. She cleaned for the stuffed animal company Gund. As well, it's a stuffed animal company.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still in existence, but they were. Well, they were very big. They did the Beanie Babies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And then
they had a factory here.
They had a factory,
Jersey.
and she also worked for Revlon. And I mean, you know what? They were hardworking people.
Yeah,
and there's something to be said for that because, like you were saying before, you either you work that 9-to-5 job or you're that entrepreneur, and they were that 9-to-5 people. And that's what built this country.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm a big fan of hard work makes you happy.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Where did you meet your wife?
I met her online, as a matter of
Nice.
fact. Yeah.
So you swiped right?
No, that was even before the swiping right. But the funny part was, and she'll tell me, oh, I had a lot of typos in my profile, evidently.
Oh, see, my wife would have just
she's
shunned me at that point.
She wasn't going to talk to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if I had typos, she would have. No.
So what's funny about it is that so we started talking, text or whatever, and then all of a sudden, nothing.
She ghosted you?
She ghosted me. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, move on. And then all of a sudden, she updates her profile and whatever else. I'm like, so I try to contact her back. I'm like, what's the deal? And she's like, oh, well, some things happened. So we ended up going out. Turns out her ex-boyfriend, she saw a picture of him he was dating in between that time, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to get back out there. We went on one date, and we were together ever since.
Oh, how long you been married?
We've been married for 5 years, and we've been together about 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's working out.
And your daughter now, if you don't mind me asking, I see you guys, you're super fucking active on Facebook you are.
Yeah, we try to be.
She had some complications, right? Your daughter did.
Yes, she did. And I'm not laughing because it was funny. She had what was called hip dysplasia, which is basically a lot of dogs get it.
I was you know what, dude? I was going to say that, but I'm like, man, I can't compare his daughter to a dog.
No, it's funny because, and I know you have different people on this podcast, and everybody's got challenges. And
well, that's what makes us who we are.
No,
man.
but what's funny is, and this is where I was going with it, is you don't know about a challenge. Like the people that are champion for challenges, there's so like I never heard of hip dysplasia before this. I didn't
Right,
know it was
right.
in dogs, cats, and kids. So basically, it's when the hip doesn't develop as well as the socket. So basically, the socket is here and the hip's here, but it's not developed enough. Now,
Okay.
what a lot of there's 2 courses of treatment where there is surgery involved, which thankfully she didn't have to have,
Nice.
or you have to be put in a harness. So she had to be put in a harness since she was 6 weeks old. No, not 6 weeks. I'm sorry, 6 months old to about a year. She was in a harness about 23 hours a day. And which sounds awful, and it was awful at the time. And of course,
Awful looking too, if I remember.
Yeah,
It
and-
just you looked at it and you're like, oh, that poor
but
thing.
it really wasn't as bad. I mean, of course, grandparents always think the worst because, oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God,
that's-
my baby. But I got to tell you, it was a help to us. I mean, you always look at the positive side. She wasn't running around. 'Cause she was, and it was
Okay,
like,
I guess that is
I
the
mean, it
positive
was
side.
kind of, I know that's awful to say, but as a parent, you're like, oh, well, this
don't have
parenting
to
thing
chase
is
her
like,
around.
yeah, this is great. Then then we had to bring her to therapy. And we went to Children's Specialized, which, there's a lot of people that do different things. There's people that, there's different levels of podcasts. Like you have a pretty, I was listening to it, but, a couple of different, I mean, you produce it really well. It sounds really great.
Thanks,
you
man.
you hear some of these other podcasts, it's like 2 guys in a garage and a wooden microphone or whatever. I don't know what
Man,
it is.
there's this one that I just fuck. The content is amazing.
Okay.
And somebody pretty famous sponsors it.
Okay.
But the guy that hosts it sounds like he's talking in a fucking bathtub. No, it's like, like echoes.
Echoes?
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that. How difficult is that to fucking hang up a blanket or
Or
something?
even just, can't you hear that?
yeah,
when you
that's what I'm
record
saying.
it?
And yeah, but anyway,
I
that's
know,
all
but
different.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they're the best. And the thing about my daughter, and I don't know if we're going to be blessed enough to have another one, but
You trying?
that's the best part.
Well, I understand that part.
No, yeah,
but-
we're thinking about it. I mean,
Good.
if it works out, it works out. But the bottom line is, this is the thing about my daughter, and this is what, when you have a kid or you're responsible for a child, they give you the best and the worst out of yourself. So she would cry and cry and cry, and she still does this till this day. If she doesn't want to do something, but if she's told to do it, she'll cry and she'll still do it. And that's what she was doing when she was walking. So she would be walking from that wall to here, and she would just be crying like I've never heard her bloody
she was
murder,
doing it.
but she's doing it. And as a parent,
That's
you're
cool.
like, it's the proudest moment of your life.
Yeah.
Because she's tough.
Yeah, building character.
And that's it. And but yeah, no, I mean, she's had a clean bill of health for a year, and we don't have to go back and see the specialist. I think he said for 2 years.
Well, I
and-
just saw on social media that like you ran a race or something, or she did.
Oh, she does. Okay, so there's this.
So when I saw that, I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, no. When you say run, she didn't really run it, but because she's a very she likes the crowd. She's waving to everybody.
you got a
And
politician,
I mean,
dude.
please. I mean, I think I got to sign her up for clown college or something. I mean, no, but it's funny because there's a program called the Kids Healthy Running Series, and they do it in the fall and they do it in the spring, and it's just basically trying to get kids to be more active. So you get kids that are younger than her, like 3 years old, and then 4, and then 5, and it goes all the way up to about 10 or 11.
Were
And
they-
every time it goes, it's a little bit longer.
Okay.
But the problem is, my wife is waving to her, go, 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 and she's like, "Hi, mommy." I'm
He
like,
just
"No,
stands
go!"
there.
She's like,
You're supposed to move.
like, move. And of course, I'm trying to be competitive. Let's go. We don't want to be last. But hey, she was never last. That's all I know. No, but it's fun because you want to give them the best thing. I mean, weight has always been an issue for my wife and I, and we're trying to promote as many healthy habits as we
Habits.
can.
Sure,
And sometimes we're good at it, and sometimes, like you said, the chocolate chip cookies get in the way.
Oh,
But they're so damn good.
Oh, I love a good chocolate
I
chip
mean-
cookie. That's the other reason I hate fucking Starbucks. Their chocolate chip cookies, amazing.
they warm 'em up for you.
Oh my God, yeah. She's like, you want me to warm them up? I'm like, you motherfucker.
I know.
Yes.
Of course you do. Of course.
And then, Wegmans. You ever go to Wegmans?
Yes.
So they have good chocolate chip cookies to begin with.
Of course. The big ones at the counter.
Well, then they fucking dip them in chocolate.
Oh, I didn't see those, but
Oh, dude, go to the bakery.
so
Chocolate chip cookie, half of it's dipped in this like thick chocolate, and you're like, "What? Are you fucking kidding me?"
so down. I live near Edison, and right down there's a Wegmans. Years ago, when the Wegmans first opened, they had these Half Moon, like
The black and white, or
they're like a bowl, it's like a little cake.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and like white frosting on one side and like
Well, yeah.
chocolate frosting on the other.
Well-
That's what I call a half moon.
Well, they're not cookies. They're actually just like a dome. It's like a dome.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they have big ones and small ones. Well, what they used to do is they used to put like a little thing, like a chocolate chip on the top, and I'm like, so I used to hang out with some friends over there. I'm like, so what do you want to get? Oh, we're gonna get the nipple cake. I'm
The
like,
nipple cake.
so they,
That's
so they
funny.
realized it, and then they took it off because they noticed that
Everybody's
people
calling them nipple cake?
Yeah, it's like,
We're
Yeah.
all fucking perverts,
oh,
dude.
but of course, you know, you know what? And I told my wife this all the time. You know what? All guys stop at 13. It's like between 13 and 15. That's when they stop mentally. I mean, after
Oh, yeah.
that,
No, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they may be smart, they may be dumb, but they all, you know, you hear a fart joke, you hear this, you hear that.
the fart
It's-
jokes are the
everybody
best, dude.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we grew up, and I think we're more or less the same age. You know, growing up in the 70s and 80s, and you know, there's a reason why there's a lot of retro stuff going on now. Because
it was
just
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I really feel bad for my daughter in the sense that, you know, she goes outside, I have to be there. I have to be there.
Yeah. Back, see, when I was growing up, my mom, you know, her favorite saying, "Go play in traffic.
Exactly.
See ya. Get the fuck out of the house, man."
We had a house down at the beach, and that's where I spent. We never
Down
went
the
anywhere.
shore?
Yeah, yeah, and we never went.
The famous Jersey Shore.
That was my summers. We went from the day
And you
school,
ran around.
and she told us go until it's dark.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we come back for lunch. You know, because you have to come back for lunch. You know, you'd have like
right,
a
yeah.
little Mrs. Dash burger.
Wow.
Greatest thing in the world. Just put a little Mrs. Dash on there. Oh,
Damn, dude.
Oh.
Going way back.
Oh, I'm talking. This is good stuff.
So speaking of that, you ever go to Red Robin?
Actually, that's
Get
where,
that fucking that seasoning.
Yeah,
Oh, stuff's amazing.
that's where I went on my first date with my wife.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Which one? Here,
Down in
not in the mall.
no in North Plainfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the endless onion rings.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Fries too.
Yeah. It's just it's
That's a good like. I've never been disappointed with their food.
it's comfort food. Absolutely.
But it's like one or two steps up from Applebee's.
yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's not like gourmet by any means.
Oh,
They
no.
say gourmet, but I mean, fuck, dude. It's
Everything is gourmet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point. But like, it's not like a big sit down. But
Oh no,
I've never been disappointed.
no. I
that's
mean,
a good point.
it's not a Jersey diner.
Oh, Jersey diners!
and-
I
and-
love a good Jersey diner.
And you can't, and it's so funny to try to explain to people outside of this area,
A diner?
like what food is around here.
Oh, it's too,
I mean, you know, I know, and I'm bringing him up again. Tommy Hilkin always talks about street meat. You know,
I
you
love a good street meat,
You
dude.
can't get any better than street meat. Or you know, you go and you get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, or a pork roll and cheese. You know, whatever it is, and you get a big ass plate of food at 2:00 in the morning, and
and it's $15.
it's just $15, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up with disco fries. I think we just called them, you know, fries with gravy and whatever
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
But you know, it's just the food here and just the experience of growing up here. The thing that I love is I love growing up here. I love living in New Jersey,
My wife and I love it. We're both transplants,
and
and we love it.
I mean, I hope we can afford to stay because
Wow,
we're
that's-
renters, and we're trying to try to get our first
You gotta
house.
check this place out, dude.
It's nice.
Yeah, well, you should know what I pay for rent. You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
We pay the biggest problem with us is we do pretty well on rent. We have a 2-bedroom, has stairs, little kitchen. It's beautiful.
Is it a house? You
No,
rent a
it's
house?
it's an apartment.
Whoa,
it's
a split level apartment.
Yeah,
No
and
shit.
it's like it's less than 1,600.
Oh, you're good shit.
I mean, and we get a garage.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
mean,
good there.
I mean, the problem is, it's just it's difficult to to save and try to get something, and we're gonna get a 2-family because I'm
Rent
really,
it and have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in the real estate. That's how my family made its money, was
Well,
in real estate.
they're not making any more
They're not.
real estate.
Oh, jeez.
See, that's why it's so valuable.
I knew it.
What the? See, this is why you come on here to learn shit like that.
I'm glad. I mean, geez, this is what it's all about, man.
Well, here in this building, you see how big it is, and
Is there a bedroom here?
yeah. On the
Oh,
other
okay.
side
I
of
was just
that
making
wall.
sure.
Yeah, the pool,
Oh,
and then parking. I never have to worry about parking.
and you got
There's a big parking lot out back. The only people that live here can park here.
Oh, some guy took my keys and was valeting. What's that about?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to call an Uber on the way home.
Okay, I
Yeah,
figured.
you won't see that car.
I didn't think so. Oh,
You might see it on Craigslist. But,
take it.
yeah, but and then to the fallout shelter thing.
I love it.
It's so fun. But the reason for that is, you see how long this building is.
Right.
At the end of each end of the building, the last apartment building. See, we're on the end. This is all concrete and reinforced rebar and all that. Like, so my ceiling and floor and all the walls,
So,
the exterior walls, not the interior walls. All the exterior walls are concrete.
so when the zombies come, this is the room to be in.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Because it all comes back to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I got to tell you though, you need to take a picture. You're gonna need to get a set of twins because it looks like the freaking
Fuck yeah,
Shining.
right? So that being said, I walked out one morning, and at the very, very end, you see how long the hallway is, right? 2 of those lights were flashing. The last 2 lights were blinking, and I was like, motherfucker, what the fuck? And you should see, so the basement, you go down the basement, ground level, whatever they
course.
call it. That's where the laundry room is.
Okay.
And the ceiling of the basement, the hallway, is all pipes, and so it looks like,
Oh, it's like-
it's amazing, dude.
Oh,
I
it's-
love
it's-
it. I
yeah.
love it. But they keep this place immaculate.
It
Like-
looks great.
Yeah. So we love living here. They treat us good here, and
That's all that
and
matters.
we bring the average age down by quite a bit.
What, like it's down to 80?
I was gonna go 75.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Val's
the-
young. you know.
The lady that lives across the hall from us is 93, and you would think she's fucking like 55. She bounces around here, and she pounds on my door at like 11:30 at night. She's like, "Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to." I'm like, "What the God, lady?"
So speaking of that, my grandmother, she died when she was 98 years old.
Nice.
She lived on her own till she was 96
Oh,
in
good
Brooklyn
for
by
her.
herself. So in a rent controlled building, she was paying $400 a month, and God knows what the guy was getting from the city.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she ended up having an episode where she had a stroke, and it's funny, but it's not. So she has this stroke. My mom doesn't hear from her. She calls her every Saturday at 9:00, doesn't hear from her. My aunt goes over there. She's on the floor. She's kind of out of it. She says to my aunt, "Make sure you get the money out of the freezer."
No shit.
She's worried about, because, it's just a different time. and
Yeah,
she-
the whole quote unquote mattress.
Oh,
right?
please. Oh, I mean, but
Yeah, because all the Great Depression and all that, they don't trust that shit
I got to
anymore.
tell you, and we were talking about, different generations, and a couple, what was it, last week or the week before? It was the 50 or 50th anniversary
D-Day?
of D-Day.
Yeah.
And of course, my daughter's watching TV with me. I'm like, "Come here, you got to watch this. Your great uncle was there. All this good stuff," and she has no interest.
Right, right.
Because she's 4 years old and she wants to watch her shows.
Baby
and I'm-
Shark, baby.
Oh yeah, baby. No, but the funny thing is, and I'm saying to myself, she has no connection to that. And this is an interesting thing to
Oh, I
think
see.
about it. Just think about this for a second. The Greatest Generation, were they too great? And what do I mean by that? They really were too great.
Absolutely.
We are the prosperity of the Greatest Generation, to the point that we're worried about that girl and her coffee while the lady's doing CPR.
Right.
If that was during the World War II era, everybody would be helping out.
Yeah,
And, I
yeah.
mean, I worked for the Red Cross during 9/11.
Okay.
And that month, or that period of time that everybody talks about, everybody was just nice and got along, and it
Yeah.
was just like, yes.
Because I think that during hard times, you do come together as a human being, right? So we're all struggling. Let's all come together, see how we can help.
Right.
Now, the greatest generation, the whole fucking world is at war,
I know.
right? So you don't have sugar
You don't have anything.
or iron or rubber or any of that shit, right?
Right.
So now every disease that we have and all the problems, I'll say, for lack of better words to
understand.
describe it, problems, is overindulgence.
Absolutely.
Everything.
And we're all guilty of it.
Absolutely.
You are,
I'm
I am,
100% guilty.
I-
Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm a fucking
Except for
saint.
Val. She's perfect. We all know
Well,
that.
well, we all, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
that's-
please.
She tries to balance me out, but
I mean,
Yeah.
they both let us do what we like to do. which
yeah,
is-
yeah. We think, what's a saying that she likes? Guys think they, chase a girl till they get her.
Yeah.
No, you chase a girl till she lets you.
Exactly.
Something like that. I'm butchering it, but
Oh,
you get
I
the point.
understand.
But I think that's why the greatest generation and all that, because just fucking hardship after hardship after hardship, and now it's like, if I don't have if my Netflix goes down and my popcorn's not ready, and my
Right.
air conditioner, what the fuck?
By the way, can I get your Hulu password? Because I want to see the end of Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah, no, I don't use Hulu.
Oh, there you go. Damn, another one. No,
Do
no,
you
but
see? Oh, actually, real quick, what was that? God, it was this commercial. It was amazing. This girl was going to the airport,
okay.
and she's like crying, and then you see the guy like being all distraught at the apartment, and then like him grabbing his keys and like rushing to the airport, and like just as she's getting on in the gate, he's like, "Hey!" and she turns around, she's all happy. He's like, Can I get your Netflix
Oh, yeah,
password or
yeah.
something?" I was like, "That's fucking
That's us. in a
brilliant,
nutshell.
brilliant."
And well, even still, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you watch Good Omens.
No,
It's okay. Regardless of that, it's a religious. It's where with two angels.
Okay.
One from the devil, one from the.
we both have those, don't
Exactly. Well, and there's comedy. That's but the bottom line is there's a Christian group that's going after Netflix to ban it. Only one problem. It's on Amazon.
we? That's awesome, dude.
So the best
I
part-
saw a little post about that.
You should look into it. But the writer of Good Omens, which is hysterical, he's like, you know what? Hey, Netflix, if you ban Stranger Things, I'm gonna ban Good Omens. So they're like trying to have fun with it. I mean, and that's what it is. And going back to what I originally said, there's no more characters. And I know there's politically correctness, and it's important to a point, but you got to be able to take a joke.
Yeah, oh my God.
Or-
Jeez, we can go down.
That's another rabbit
Holy
hole.
Christ, yeah.
But it's just like, I think that people, and that's where I get myself in trouble sometimes when I teach, as you all know. I because you try to have fun and make it just fun.
Well, my theory on that, and I'll just throw it out there, is you can't offend me.
Right.
No matter what you say, I offend myself with it.
Right.
Right? So, God, who was it? Eleanor Roosevelt said that?
Probably. But I'm
Nobody
not
can
sure.
offend you unless you let them. I know I'm butchering it, but
I know, yeah.
it's to the point.
I know you'll get the comments in the
Oh yeah, no,
because
people.
we're the smartest two people we know right now.
Yeah, absolutely. the comments in this will be a fucking dumpster
If
fire.
you liked it was Walt. If you didn't, it was Joe who said it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the whole everybody's just be able to take it and move forward.
But you know what though?
Don't be offended by so much stuff.
And again, I go back to the other thing I was saying about being our successes coming back to haunt us. We had a lot of a lot of hardships growing up. And what I mean by that is, things weren't perfect like they are now. And I'm not saying things are perfect now, but I'm just saying, with your latte and da.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we had to be more creative and whatever else. And there's more dangers out there than there were before. And we're expecting to put our morals on a kid that never had that backstory. And that's another problem.
That's a really good. No, that's really cool. I never thought of it that way.
How can I expect a teenager to know? There's this young comic. He's like 14 years old. Okay, and
is he a dirty comic or
well,
clean?
it's funny. He's like, yeah, and he's really dry. He's like, yeah. Sorry, I can't go outside because I can't get experience because I can't go outside because my parents won't let me. He's like trying to explain the woe is me. Like, why don't you go have more experience? Well, you won't let me go outside because the water's dirty and this is da.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing is? He's right.
Absolutely.
And
and then 5 years from now, you're mad at them because they don't have that experience or they don't have those that life lessons or whatever you want to call them.
I mean,
right?
Going back to the D-Day stuff, you knew people that were in D-Day, right? Mm-hmm. I knew people that were D-Day. Mm-hmm. The kids coming up, they're either dead, or they're so old that they're a shell. Those people are a shell of themselves.
Well, and the other thing too was it a couple years ago? Was it last year or 2 years ago? It was the first generation that wasn't around with 9/11, or it's like now it's in the history books or something. Yeah. Now I'm like, fuck, dude, that seemed like last week still.
I got to tell you, I mean, I guess we'll go down this rabbit hole since you brought up 9/11. I got a question for you. What's the greatest moments in your life? Like, just name a
right now.
I know you're flattering me, but I'm being serious.
No, the moment that I'm living in.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Because the thing is, the past happened. I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
And the future ain't here yet.
So, going back to Saving Private Ryan, at the end of the movie.
Love that fucking movie, dude.
End of the movie. He's in front of the grave, and he says to his wife, he's talking to her, was I a good husband? Was I a good father? Was I good this? Was I good that? And the way I look at it is, was the greatest moment of your life World War II? No. He was a doctor, he was a father, he was this. For a lot of people, that one moment in World War II was the greatest moment in their whole life.
See.
Now, let me rewind back to my life. One of the greatest moments of my life was working for the Red Cross during 9/11.
Oh, okay.
I got to help.
Because sense of accomplishment.
I got to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
More than anybody else.
Because now you're part of something bigger than you.
Absolutely. And I think that I wish that we could get back to that. I mean, I look at my daughter, and one of her favorite shows now is a show that it's on Amazon, but it's no longer new episodes, Sid the Science Kid. Which, how is this related to anything? Because when you have kids, it's all about your kids. But it's all about science. It's all about education. It's all about facts. And I'm looking at her, and she is just soaking this all up. And my wife's a science teacher, and it's just like my wife is like over the moon because it's something that they can bond.
Yeah,
but they can bond at. And I love the Apollo 13. I love the space race, and I watch all those kind of. There's a show. It was a 1 or 2 series show called Mars, and it actually has like Elon Musk and all these other people. And if we actually went to Mars. And my point being is, I wish we could have that goal again as a country to be creative and have people that want to be smart. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds, I know we're kind of off topic.
But I know what you mean. But you could even bring that back to a football player, hockey player, somebody that played in a Super Bowl and made the winning touchdown or whatever it may be, and that was a great moment, and they live in that moment.
Absolutely,
right. And I've had moments like that. I've never been to the fucking Super Bowl and all that, but I've had moments that I'm guilty of it, and everybody else is. You sit here and you go, man, that was fucking fun, dude.
Yeah,
that was amazing. But in reality, we're here.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny because I lost my father at an early age. You talk about moments. And
and you're talking about sports, and that's just kind of what
Yeah, yeah.
sports and my father were very intertwined.
Okay.
And growing up, he was a very good athlete. At least he was in my mind. Everybody's a good athlete in their mind. And one of the things that I love the Giants. And
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
See I got Michael Strahan autographed football over
there you go. And he always used to say right before he died, if we ever get O.J. Anderson, they're going to win the Super Bowl. And he passed away, and he never actually got to see it. But I don't, because of the landscape, the way sports is, not because it's good or bad. Just I'd rather watch sports than on the highlights than the actual game. But when it comes to football, I will sit down and watch a football game from beginning to end. No other sport I do that with.
I can't either.
I can't watch. I love hockey. I've watched more hockey.
Well, hockey's better live.
It is.
I can't watch hockey on TV.
But my point being is, it's just like it's that one, I guess, that bond,
Yeah.
And I ref sports and I ref football and lacrosse, and because I like to, you still want to be involved in the game.
Absolutely.
And I've learned more from sports, I think, than anything. That and the stuff that my father taught me, it's just about life, because it's always hard, and that's the thing. I say this to my all the time. When we're lying in bed, sometimes you're like, "Is this what we're supposed to be?"
Oh yeah, of course.
And there's another movie that it's such a chick flick, Under the Tuscan Sun. But
I've never seen it.
Okay, you need to watch it for the ending. So
Just skip to the ending.
no. Well, it all makes sense. So in the beginning of it, she has this list of things that she wants. She wants to have a wedding. She wants to have a kid. She wants to have this. She wants to have that. She wants that. Well, it turns out her fiance leaves her. She moves to Italy, and the last scene, there's a wedding at the place that she lives. There's a baby because somebody else has a baby. She got everything that she wanted. She didn't get it the way she thought she was going to get it.
But it was all there.
And I look at my life. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a kid. I wanted to, have all these things that you have your little checklist. Was it exactly the way I wanted? No. But it
do you
never
have-
is.
no,
But I have
right.
I cannot be any happier with my life because all the boxes are checked. So I
Right.
need to get out of my own headspace to say, okay,
Well, yeah, because the whole grass is greener on the other
of
side.
course.
No, dude. I mean, even on my social media, and I just touch on it in my social media because
Right.
people would be like, "Dude, you need to be quiet." If I spit out everything I was thinking,
Oh, of course.
like, fuck, dude, I love my fucking life.
And
I
that's
got a
what-
job I fucking just love. I mean, I love chasing my old lady around.
that
And
is in
well,
itself
so
is a whole.
Don't tell her I called her the old lady.
She might hear it, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
maybe. But
I know she doesn't listen.
yeah. No. And then I do what I want, and I have somebody, and I surround myself with people that support what I want to do.
Yeah.
So those are big things.
And I know a little bit about what your wife does, and just through social media and whatever else.
Sure.
And you guys are really active, and it's as someone as an outsider looking in, it's awesome to see because
Oh, thanks, man.
she's always running something, you're always doing something, and it's just. One of those when you were doing the poker thing, I never got down there. I was so pissed because I suck at poker. And
Yes, we need to play that.
exactly. It's just I love the game. I just suck at it. That's why we need to play.
Yeah.
But
I'll teach you how to play.
Oh, I bet you will. Yeah, with the special set of cards. But it's funny because, like, I look at my wife and she's an outdoorsy person.
You guys spend a lot of time outside.
I try. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't do it as much as I'd like to, but of course my daughter hates the outdoors because, she tries to spite us. But I think she's at an age
Well,
where she
that's-
doesn't want to hike. She likes the outdoors. She just doesn't like to do what we like to do
Right,
in the
right,
outdoors.
right.
I mean, but every time she sees a muddy puddle, she's ready to jump into it.
Nice.
So, I mean,
for her.
Oh, we are part of a group called Hike a Baby, and I cannot give their praises enough.
So what's this?
It's a
Group that you have babies and you go. Everybody goes hiking
Everybody
together. And
has
stuff?
babies. Yeah, we
Oh,
just
okay,
pop
cool.
them out and
Yeah.
No, so
But everybody brings children or babies with it.
so it was founded in Washington State,
Okay.
I believe, or Oregon, and by this woman who wanted to just keep her kid outside, and they have chapters all over the world, and I was a branch ambassador for a while. And it's funny because it's more of a mom's group than it is a guys group. But I was at one point I was one of 4 male branch ambassadors. But it's basically getting people outside to not, you can get your kid dirty and whatever else. And what's neat is there's companies that are in the beginning that just saw that and they started supporting it. Like
nice.
my daughter was in a pack from 6 months on.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And it's funny because my wife's kind of an introvert in the sense that you and I and even Val, you're always out there. Hey, how you doing?
I'll talk to anybody.
Exactly.
Why do you think I started this?
Exactly. That's why I'm jealous. You and I want to do this and also be Tommy Hilkin because that's the greatest job in the world.
Right.
I mean, I know I used him 3 times. It's just
It's all good. He's a good dude.
He's the best. And I haven't seen him in a while, so I need my infusion.
He likes to play cards too.
I know he does, and I'm probably that's why you all want me to come.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
we got to split your money.
Exactly.
Split your money up.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
No fun.
That's the problem. No, but so I'm the social media person, and they were having a hike at an orchard, an apple orchard, in October, back when my daughter was little. And my wife was like, hemming and hawing. So she ends up going. We meet one of the ladies and her husband that were the chapter ambassadors. And these 2 people are amazing. Like, they're just the most wonderful people in the world. I mean, they're really underachievers. She's a nurse and he's a doctor, a specialist in his field, like crazy smart, everything. And my wife went on the hike and she's like, this is awesome. This is exactly where we should be. And we just kind of built it from there. And then it kind of turned where she was more involved and then I was involved. And, we try to do things as a team. I mean, it's hard. I mean, growing up, my father was always working at the liquor store.
Right.
And, we always talk about quality time. And Tuesdays and Sundays were his day off. And I'm not saying I'm trying to, make up for that because I knew my dad worked hard for us.
Right,
he was putting food on the table, and we owned a family business, and that was important. But I mean, I'm no spring chicken. I'm 47. I have a 4-year-old.
Oh shit, you're still young.
No,
dude.
but my point being is, you know what? I got to keep up with this kid.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I can't. And you don't think you're old until people tell you you're old, because I still think I'm 13, so I'm ready to do this, and that.
Yeah.
And then people are like, no, you're old. Oh, I didn't realize it. I didn't get the memo.
What? What's that? What's that saying? Act your age. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck, I've never been this old before.
No, exactly. So, but yeah, no. I mean, the thing about hiking that we just love, and especially this group, is it's such a great group in terms of they want their kids to get dirty, they want to play, they want the activities, and from that there's a lot of stuff that came out of it. But I mean, like, my daughter cuts stuff with a knife,
Nice.
and does stuff that we used to do.
Yeah.
But again, I'm of the mind, if she falls, wait. See what's going to happen, and you have to learn about adversity.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
do I
yeah.
do it all the time? No, but
Yeah,
I
your
mean,
first reaction is like, "Oh, you okay?" But it's like, "No, you'll be all right, man."
And when she's around those kids, she's in it,
Good.
and that's what it's about for me, at least. I mean, we don't get out there as much as we, once kids get older and they start getting in school, and it's, I know you don't have that, you don't have the pleasure of that, but maybe someday you will. Who knows?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean,
We don't deny the kid opportunity. But
but it's funny. I mean, and I look at your life here, and you got the bikes, you got this, you got the equipment for working out, you got the cat, whatever the heck that thing is.
That's the Cat Hotel, baby.
Yeah, that is the Taj Mahal of hotels.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Somebody left that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to.
I don't know. They might have moved out or something. Didn't want it, and I took it because it was down here in the hallway. Because we have like a little room with trash room and stuff, and they left it outside that room, and I brought it up here, cleaned it up. Look at that thing, man. That's about $500
I'm
if you were to
telling
buy
you.
that.
Oh, you had the cat before that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was like, you got that, and then you got the cat. Right?
No. The funny story with the cats.
Oh,
There's a black and white one running around here
cool.
somewhere. Thelma and Louise.
of course.
I had a heart procedure
Oh, I didn't.
back in 2016.
Okay.
2016. and I was recovering, and I'm like, I've always had cats.
Okay.
I had a cat back in Colorado that, this is a little longer story, but it's kind of fun.
It's fun.
So I was dating a girl. She had a son working at Kmart.
Okay.
He brings this cat home one day because there's, oh, these people are giving away the cat in the parking lot. One of those things.
Yeah.
And it was little. And I'm like, yeah, I don't mind a cat. I'm not against cats, that's for sure. I like them. And so it starts getting big, right? Starts growing, as cats do.
Of course.
But it was weird because his body would get big and his head would be little. And then his head would be really big and his body would be little. As he's growing, his head and his body would grow differently.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, this is fucking, what the fuck?
Right.
So I go to get him neutered, right?
Oh, no.
So I said to the vet, I said, because I grew up farming and doing that.
Okay.
And when we got our cats, I said, we'll never take them to the vet. We're going to get them from the shelter.
Okay.
They're going to have their shots from the shelter. If the shelter doesn't give them shots, we'll take them to a
Of
vet
course.
to give them shots.
Right.
And we put a dollar amount on the way we're going to
Treat him.
treat them, right? And if it exceeds that dollar amount,
Bucket of water.
yeah. Wow. It was funny. Val's like, well, what would happen? I said, you would go to work one day and you would come home and the cat would no longer be here, and we'd go to the pound and get another one, That's just the way I grew up with animals.
I understand.
Right? So I take it because of course I wanted him fucking neutered.
Of course.
I'm like, listen, this cat is weird. And at this time, his head was really big and his body was little. And I'm like, we got to figure what the fuck is going on. So she draws blood.
Oh, no.
And she goes, I have an idea, but I don't want to say anything. Let me draw blood. Give me a couple days. It's okay. So she calls me and goes, you have pretty much like at 98% Maine Coon
What's that?
breed.
Okay.
They get big,
Oh, okay.
big. So that's an indication of how big he's going to be because, his body's like, he ended up being 28 pounds.
Oh, my God.
And not fat. He would walk by me, right? And how cats walk around with their tail straight in the air?
Yeah.
The tip of his tail would be higher than my belt,
Holy shit.
like a lot higher. Like he was big, and they're notorious for having 6 toes. So, of course, he had 6 toes in the front, but he was just fucking huge, right?
Okay.
So I've always liked cats.
Yeah, no,
And he was just a man cat. Like I'd bring dates home, and there was a space underneath my door.
Right.
And I lived in a fourplex, so my
Yeah.
door was in the lobby. And I would take a pen or something, and I'd scratch the bottom of the door.
Right.
And his fucking paw would come out from under the door, and the girls would jump back, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" He was huge.
I
right?
can't even imagine.
So I had the heart procedure, and I was like, what? I need a cat to like lay on my lap and just keep, because
Chill out.
who doesn't like a
Right.
company,
Right.
So when we got a little better, we went to the pound, and we didn't know it, but it was clear the shelter day.
Okay.
And if people don't know what it is normally you go to the shelter and you got to pay to adopt. It's usually $150 or something. But clear the shelter days, there's no money involved. You want this cat? It's all.
got it.
Here's the papers. All the shots are. See ya. Leave. Take it. So that worked out well. So we found the girls, and we wanted 2 because our active lifestyle. We're not home a lot.
Yeah.
But so that's how we ended up with the cats. And then later in 2016, I had my back surgery.
Right.
So I was laid up for a while, and it was just great having them around. They're just
course.
good company.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they give you a little element of home, having a pet.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never been a pet person. I know I'm one of those.
You guys don't have any pets?
We
Not
had a-
even a goldfish?
We had a rule in our house growing up. You couldn't have anything. You couldn't flush down the toilet.
No shit.
No shit. And so my mom comes up with some zingers, and then I met the only other person. I don't want to have anything that's bigger poop than I do. So we have a kid, so that's bad enough. No, I mean, we're going to get fish. I love fish, actually. I just
Fish are
haven't-
great.
I just
There's too much work for
That's
me.
the problem.
Fuck.
It's like they're so damn. And if you want to have good fish, you have to have a saltwater tank.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
really know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
I don't have the time or the energy to do it.
No.
So, but they're just calming. You know, and the other problem is my sister has a couple of dogs, and they're great, but she's always running for them. And like you said, the cost is not cheap.
Oh no, yeah, and growing up with dogs, no, it never went to the vet. Every dog I had never went to a vet.
They went somewhere though.
Yeah, they went somewhere, and of course, see, I believe, and I know this is going to blow up with some people, but I believe that people keep animals alive for selfish reasons.
Oh, that makes
They're like,
a
I'm
little
gonna,
bit of sense.
I'm going to treat this animal to give it a longer life. Okay. But now where's the quality? And of course, there's fucking every situation is different. So I'm not saying this umbrella. But it's like, now look at the dog or the cat or whatever it may be. Are they really comfortable? Are they really happy? But you're happy because it's around.
I have a friend of mine. She used to have to give her dogs insulin shots every couple of hours because they were diabetic.
Oh my God.
And
That's a lot of
again,
work.
God love her for doing it,
Yeah.
but you know, it's not my lifestyle.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, and I have a good friend that her little dog, had cancer. She was like wondering what to do. Decided to have it treated, and the dog lives a great life. Bounces around just as energetic or more than it ever's been. Right. So you have both sides, but I tend to see more of the former than I do the latter.
Unfortunately, I'm with you on that, but
Yeah.
it's
Like
not
I said, that'll piss somebody off. But well.
I'm just not. I'm a good dog uncle.
Oh, there you go. You come over, rile them up, and leave.
I
Yeah.
don't want any part of it because
Yeah.
they're just. It's too like we're going on a trip soon to Disney for a week.
Florida or California?
I wish California, but Florida.
Okay.
I mean, what am I gonna do with the dog? I got to put it up. That's more money. And again, that's just not for.
It's not your
us.
lifestyle. Well,
exactly.
that's the same thing here. Like, this building, we're allowed dogs, right? Little dogs, to under 40 pounds or whatever it may be. But our lifestyle does not support having a dog, so we're not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to torture a dog just because
Or make yourself guilty because you're not doing
Right.
what you need
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter the other day, our neighbor has a dog, and she's like, "Oh, we should get one." I'm like, "Who's going to walk it?" "Oh, I will." Yeah,
for
okay.
the first 2 times. and
Yeah,
then
no, that's not going
right.
to happen. That's not going to happen. But
So we need to circle back around something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
we're going all over the place.
Zombies.
oh yeah,
You're a fan of zombies?
growing up, I'm a scaredy cat.
That's who, a zombie's never offended.
Yes, true. It's funny. I growing up, I grew up in an 18-room house in Summit.
18-room house.
Yeah.
Holy shit! My 300-ring circus of an imagination would go
Well,
crazy.
this
in
is
that
the
house.
problem with it. Okay, it was still settling when I was a kid.
Oh,
So remember the movie Poltergeist?
of course,
Who doesn't? The scariest effing movie in the world.
Of course, it's classic.
We have my mom.
Exorcist kind of
My
goes
mom
along with that, but
got me a not unrelated to that a clown.
ugh,
And my brother used to torture me. It was in the closet until the day we left that place because I couldn't stand it.
I would have burned that motherfucker.
And, the funny thing is, I don't like scary stuff. I actually don't like.
so you don't watch like scary movies or?
I don't care for them, but I love The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but that's not really scary.
It's
though.
about it's a drama, and
Right.
and that's the thing. That there's zombies and stuff like that, but
So, but like zombie movies, like what's that? The next 28 days or
28 days. I'm
later?
not.
You
what?
don't like those kinds of
It's not-
zombie
I'm
movies?
just not. I'm just not. I know it's really weird. I like the drama of The Walking Dead. I like there's a show called Z Nation. There's a really good
Z-Nation, I remember that.
there's a really good prequel to that that's called Black Summer. It just came on Netflix.
Okay.
If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's awesome.
Well, the reason I bring that up, you listen to Audible, right?
Yeah.
So I listened to this guy, Mark Tufo, and
Okay.
the books are called Zombie Fallout.
Okay.
Fucking amazing,
Really?
dude.
Really?
So the zombies are like 25% of it.
Okay.
Just the the characters and the dialogue, and they're just so well done.
I like the aspect of the survival part of it.
You should check these
Yeah, I
out.
will.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Do you have Audible?
Yeah, I do. I actually have.
I never shared a book with you, so you have that option. I can share
Okay.
a book with you, and it don't cost you anything.
All right.
So I'll send you
Yeah.
I think the first book or the first one on Audible is like the first 3 volumes.
Right,
So
right.
you don't get just one.
Yeah, that's
But check
awesome.
it out, and then if you like it, you can keep
Yeah,
going. But
yeah.
they're super. Anybody that likes zombies, I tell them about it and I'm working now to try to get the author on this podcast.
Well, if you need another zombie expert, I can get you a couple of them because there's.
Oh man, I would love to have somebody come on here and talk about zombies, dude.
That
That would be awesome.
The guy from Podcastica, Jason.
Oh, we need to hook him up. Let's hook up.
He's part of.
I'll even come on his or vice versa or something.
Trust me, he's the man. And
Oh,
there's a
I'd
couple.
love to talk
There's a
about-
whole group of people in this. It's the Jason and Karen show, but it's all done by this guy Jason. He owns Podcastica, and he's all into the dark stuff.
Okay.
You know, and I'll definitely get you hooked up with them because
That'd be a super fun
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
I like get into I like all the way from
Night of the Living Dead
to like 28 Days Later
Yeah.
to anything.
Oh, what was the one-
World War Z?
Yeah.
that was amazing. That's
what was the other
classic.
one? Oh, they were night zombies with Will Smith.
Oh, I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Fuck, amazing. I love that.
I wish
movie.
they would have made a sequel to that.
I don't think they would hold up.
I know. And then there's always Denzel, not Denzel, Wesley Snipes.
Oh, Blade.
Yeah,
Now, see,
the first one was the best.
okay, but what was it was a third one with Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know. Yeah, it was bad.
No, but come on, Ryan Reynolds is that guy is just funnier than
Oh,
shit,
he is,
dude.
I'm
love
one of
that
the few
guy.
people that liked Green Lantern. So what do
I
I
like Green
I
Lantern.
mean, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of him anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, no, I mean,
and he's a
growing-
motorcyclist.
Yeah, I mean, zombies were never. This is only a new thing for me. Is the zombies? I was always a.
I've been a zombie fan forever.
Yeah. I just like the preparedness of it. Like I love watching how these people are so smart and so dumb. Like you know what I mean? Like
What?
what do I mean? Like trying to figure out how to figure stuff out. Like they do so many smart things. Like they're trying to get a good fortification. They're trying to
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it took
and then
me a
they're
second
so
to-
dumb. Like I watched the Fear of the Walking Dead right now, and
Is that a prequel?
no, it's actually so you have Walking Dead, and then what they did was they created Fear of the Walking Dead at the same time period, and it's on the West Coast. Right now they're in
okay.
Texas, and it's going through some changes. It's not as good, obviously, as the Walking Dead, just because some showrunners they're having problems with the showrunners.
Now, do you think the Walking Dead kind of lost it after a while? I lost it. I mean, after a while, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Okay, it
Do you
did
hear
lose
that a
its
lot?
way, but if you watched this past season was probably top 3 of all of the seasons.
Okay.
And the reason I say it, Angela Kang is the showrunner, and Scott M. Gimple is kind of the mastermind. There's Kirkman, but then there's Scott M. Gimple.
Okay, yeah.
And he kind of left The Walking Dead in terms of the show, but he's kind of the overseer of the whole thing. Angela Kang has taken over, and it was on slow, like in terms of the pacing of the show.
Right.
And when she took over, buckle your seat, boom.
Gone.
And it is awesome. It has never been any better.
Okay, all right.
You should definitely check it out. I mean, yeah, the Negan years were awful. It was like getting beat over by a bat with him because it never.
Went anywhere, and it was like the same fucking thing
It's
over
like,
and
come on,
over.
can we cut to the chase already?
Yeah.
I mean,
It seemed like every episode was like a developing episode. It's
Exactly.
like, where the fuck are we going with this?
absolutely. And with this last season, they killed off some characters. They brought in the Whisperers. It's a new group.
Okay.
And they also did a time jump. So whatchamacallit, Judith is actually a kid now. Like she's in the mix.
yeah,
She
yeah.
can fight. And
Is the main dude still alive?
well, that's a big question. The last episode, or one of the episodes, he got taken off in a helicopter. He didn't get killed.
What
but,
the hell's his name?
Rick.
Rick.
Yes.
Rick.
So Rick is technically not on the show. He's somewhere else. And that was a big controversy for the Walking Dead fans, which, it's like, why are you teasing us like that? Just kill the guy off.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, what they want to do is they want to make movies. They're going to make movies with him.
Of course.
Because they want to make more. But they're not going to be in the movie theater. They're going to be
Just like
AMC movies. And I'm a little, I like the show and I want to see it to the end. I'm a little upset with AMC in the sense that, are they the zombie network? It's like you're AMC. Have other programming.
Yeah.
But
it's all money and politics.
no, but I'm just saying
right?
they could develop a lot of other great shows.
Yeah.
If they would just, like Comic Book Men. It's no big secret. They basically torpedoed the show, which is a decent show, because they kept putting it on later and later and later. Well, you put it on Sunday at 2 a.m. Who the hell's going to watch it?
Fucking watch that.
I got a DVR. I'll watch it whenever. But it's like, there's another night besides Sunday.
Right.
There's actually, I think, 6.
Well, it's just nowadays too, especially with streaming,
Right.
and all that. The fucking prime time doesn't matter anymore.
No, it
to me,
doesn't.
I don't believe it does.
No.
Now, when you said they're going to make movies,
Right.
which is the natural thing, right?
Right.
I believe that's why they ended Game of Thrones the way they did, to make some, like Arya going to the end of the world there.
Could be a movie.
That could be a movie. That wouldn't be a whole another TV series, but that could be a 90-minute movie, easy.
I think if we're going to talk Game of Thrones,
Fuck, we'll be on another 3 hours.
that's another 3 hours. I will say this. I think that George R. R. Martin, I don't particularly care for him.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know what? Write the damn books. Okay? Let's just put that aside.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think he had a hand in this, obviously. But, the guys that wrote it, D&D, the main guys, I think they got lazy. They could have had another season if they wanted to. And they ended it early. And if you're going to end it early, end a full season. The
whole 7 episodes or whatever it was.
After the Battle of Winterfell, they could have ended it there, which would have been fine.
Yeah.
But, I think they rushed it. I didn't not like the ending. I didn't think it was the greatest ending.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I
I wasn't like, what the fuck? But I was like,
I'm not ready to petition.
yeah, I'm not going to get out my sign.
Yeah, no, I know. But, I think having Bran as
I'm not a fan.
That was dumb.
The only storyline in that whole fucking series I didn't like was Bran's.
Yeah, well,
Every time that come on, I was like, ugh.
Well, when you do get to podcast with Jason, that's his favorite character, and we'd always give him crap about it.
I'll fuck tear him up
please.
about it.
No. But the funny part is, we were all in this Game of Thrones pool, like who's going to live, who's going to die.
I was going to put some money on it in Vegas, but they pulled the betting
did
down
they?
because it's just obvious people knew that they could bet on it and make a bunch of money. So,
but and he's like, I can't believe he didn't win it, but he's like, I got that right, but I didn't think it was going to be him. Like, because he just likes those quirky kind of intelligent type of.
Well, I had so mine was Arya on the throne,
Okay.
Jon at the wall,
Okay.
Tyrion is the hand,
Okay.
and what's her name, Queen of the North.
Okay.
So I got
most of it.
I got a couple of them right.
I'm at the point now, and we're in the spoiler-free world,
Yeah.
and
Well, okay. So here you go. I got a great example.
okay.
I don't know if you watch it, Yellowstone.
Oh my God, we could be
Holy
on 3
fuck.
hours. Wasn't that a
Fuck.
great episode?
Oh my God, dude! I'm probably going to rewatch it tonight.
We could do a podcast just
Holy
on
shit,
Yellowstone,
dude.
and I would do that in a heartbeat.
I'm a huge Kevin Costner fan.
How could you not be?
Well, I've been a Kevin Costner fan forever.
I'm saying.
Right. And I stumbled on Yellowstone a couple years ago or whenever it started.
Yeah, last year.
And I was like, holy shit.
It's
and I
great.
watched it and I told Val about it. I'm like, I think you might want to watch. Oh, I got like 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, I think you might want to watch this with me.
Right.
So she watched like part of an episode. She's like, yeah, we need to put that back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. God, what a great fucking show, dude.
It's a movie every week.
Yeah, that's a movie every time.
Yeah.
God, the characters are great. The way it's shot is great. Rip, hands down, Rip is my favorite
Oh, isn't
character.
he great?
But this last week, he's like, there's only one rule around here. If you're going to fight, you're going to fight me. And I was like, yeah, motherfucker.
I know. And then
What
they
a great
tear up
show.
they tear up that bar.
Oh, that's great. They
The
let the
bull?
bull. So going back to what I was really originally going to say is the streaming and all that. Now I'm like, fuck. I got to wait till next week to see what happens again. They didn't put the whole season up yet.
Oh,
But going back to what you're saying, spoiler, right?
Yeah.
So say they put the whole season up. So
Right.
say they put 10 episodes up. You got the time or you got the commitment and you binge watch 4 fucking episodes. You and I work together and I only watch one. Going back to what you're saying, we're in a spoiler.
right, free zone.
Yeah, so now,
When do I watch it? When can I talk about it?
yeah, okay. So the first question now is, how far are you?
Right.
Okay, I'm in episode 1. Okay, shit. So we can only talk about this.
And I don't
it's
know
like,
what to
what
do.
the fuck?
Oh, I know. And then yeah. I mean, the whole thing with like Star Wars and all these other things, it's just it gets crazy.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. 'Cause I have to go back.
Oh, we can talk about that. You can go pee.
Can I go pee?
I'll pause it.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know that it would be a problem, but
Well, and that's what's so great about
podcasting.
this is like people. Fuck, dude, we're sitting here for
Yeah,
an hour and something.
whatever.
I don't even know how long we've been
Yeah,
here, but
this
it
is
don't
great.
matter. Yeah. So TV shows are good. You know what I'm gonna? So I'll post about this episode. It probably won't be posted for a while
Oh.
because it's just I put it in the queue.
Of course, no. I have to,
But I like to advertise like that I was thing, and I'm fuck zombies, dude.
You
I
love
gotta
zombies.
I gotta put the fucking picture of the zombies up, man.
Awesome.
Especially following up from the Fallout shelter. It kind of goes
Oh
with it,
yeah,
dude.
no. I'm glad we coordinated this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm glad we coordinated it.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out, man.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, hook me up with your buddies, man. That would be super cool to have a conversation like that.
I got to tell you, and what's neat about them, they're all in that con world. So
Okay.
they know a lot of the different
Yeah,
types
yeah.
of people, and it's really a fascinating world. I mean, like I said, they all meet the characters. They do a lot of panels, and I have a lot of these people. They'll go to different conventions all over the country.
Yeah, yeah. I was never
And-
into those, but
I never was too before. Like it's going to be in Edison next week, so that's how I met them all. You know, after dinner I had to work, and then I met them after dinner. So I'm going to go just to kind of see
Hang
what
out,
it's all
yeah,
about,
yeah.
and it's a really neat community. That's
Cool.
that's the neat thing, which I find really fascinating. And again, that's just one part. I mean, I know you're a big zombie guy. I mean, I don't consider myself a zombie guy, even though I am now. But I mean, I'm a Star Wars, Star Trek, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
all the
that's what you were
sci-fi, all the sci-fi.
I love sci-fi and thrillers
it's-
and all that shit. I love
you know,
all that stuff.
I mean, it's just funny because, unfortunately, again, product of our success. As much as I love all these movies, all these comic book movies and whatever else, it's like, can we get something a little bit different?
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's funny because my daughter.
Well, that's why I like Yellowstone so much.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
like that's a
A
movie.
perfect example of what you were just saying. Yep.
Real people doing real things. I still can't see. I still don't know if Kevin Costner's good or bad. I mean, I know he's bad, but I don't know if he's good or
Like as a character
yeah,
or
yeah, as a character.
oh yeah, I agree
it's
with
like
you.
you're
there.
like,
God, is he like being the good guy, just being a dick about
I
it,
know.
or
The
he's
best-
such a good guy to play a dick though?
well, no. Last year, one of the episodes. Do you remember there was that bus that?
Oh, I love that.
yeah, get off my land.
He's like, nobody owns all this land.
Yes.
Not in America. This is America. We don't share land.
You know, Sharon-
Something like
and
that.
this woman is like, this it couldn't be any more the typical
America.
Yeah, this woman's trying to take a picture of the
bear.
landscape.
They-
Yeah,
Well, no, they're like looking at how beautiful the land is. There's a fucking grizzly bear, and Kevin Costner like, there's a fucking bear. And they're like, it won't hurt us, and it's like that's how people get killed, lady.
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because I went up to Alaska. On
That's that bear is there because he diverted the river.
yes,
Okay.
hers. Yeah.
Fucking guy diverts a river.
Oh, I know. You don't make that up. I mean, he is
Somebody did it.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, somebody didn't write that. Somebody was like, I heard somebody did this one time. Well, fuck, we need to put that in a show.
Absolutely. I mean,
And how about that dude, Dan Jacobs or whatever? He's still alive.
oh, I know. How is he still alive?
I don't know what at the end of the last season where he was hanging.
Yeah.
They stopped and all that, and I looked at my wife and I go, he's still alive. I called that.
I would have never thought that. Yeah. I would have never thought that. But yeah, no, I think it's what's neat is the different complexities of the white American versus the Indian American and how that is just so. I mean, it's a world that most people don't really have a clue on.
Right. That's a whole other story.
Oh, I didn't.
But I have immense history with that.
Oh, do you?
Between the two.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other story.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, what I found interesting too in that, a line in this last episode, so it would be because this won't come out for a while, but was it season 2, episode 1,
right,
where Rainwater was talking to the council to get his loan.
Oh, yes.
And the one councilman's like, you're doing the same thing the white man was trying to do and all that. I was like, oh, damn.
And he's like, yes, I am.
I like how he's like, yes, I am. But it's for this and that. And, it was just, it's such a good show.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, do you know anything about,
yes. No, I have no idea.
Does I've never looked into it. Is Kevin Costner like an executive producer? Does he have anything to do with that?
Oh, I think he's
got to be.
He's got his. I mean, you don't get to be Kevin Costner by accident.
Yeah.
And I think he is one of the executive producers.
Okay.
I'm almost.
I got to look more into it, and I will. But and it's like magic.
Yeah.
I just like watching the show and enjoying it.
I
know some people dig into like actors and actresses and the director and the storyline and 3 lines deep with the storyline, and I just watch it and be like, that is amazing.
And that's why I love podcasts, listening to podcasts, because I'll watch something and then I'll listen to the podcast and let them do all the research. It makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Then you just regurgitate what they say.
I did, and I said that for Jason has a podcast for Game of Thrones. It's called House Podcastica. And I was like the king of Game of Thrones in my little circle of friends because I would listen to it. And
I see. Yeah.
I mean, because of that podcast. And I think that that's pretty cool that there's people like that just know so much about.
That's what's great too. We talk about the cons of some of the stuff nowadays, but the pros are, if you're so passionate about something, look at everything that's at the touch. You could reach and grab all the knowledge that you want. You don't have to send out for a magazine, or you don't have to spend half a day traveling to the library. You can just open your phone and research that stuff, which is amazing.
Which goes back to different generations. Our generation, it was the research.
Right.
Versus
decibel or Dewey Decimal System.
Exactly. All that stuff. And it was getting to it. Microfiche, which nobody even knows probably.
Oh my God.
Or
Make you seasick.
I was talking to a bunch of high schoolers at our first aid squad, and I'm like, you guys don't remember, because you have no clue, when you'd have to go to college and wait for the magazine to do your research because somebody else had it.
Right.
I mean, it's just a different time, and it's
there's good or no, like you said, it's not good or bad. It's just that's the way it was, and that's the way it is, and that's just what it is.
That's why I mean, I know a lot of people call it the golden age. This is the golden age of TV because there's so many good programs on that are a lot of in depth. I mean, God, I wish I had a TV show to put on, because Netflix seems like they're throwing money at stuff.
They are, especially now the whole Disney thing.
I'm just saying,
but I think the medium nowadays is podcast and YouTube.
Yeah.
So, the having a podcast like this, but then having a camera to where people can sit here and watch us talk, right? So
I got one better for you. I have a friend of mine. She was going to college. She drops out of college freshman year. Okay? I'm going to play video games.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second. You're going to do what? She makes a 6-figure income for people watching her play video games.
Absolutely.
She's got social media.
I don't see a damn thing wrong with that.
And I'm looking at her and I'm like,
it's brilliant.
It's so awful that it's awesome.
She works hard. That's work.
Yeah.
And the thing is, somebody said to me one time, I can't believe people like sit there and watch her play video games.
Right.
And I go, I'm thinking, and I go, well, I'll sit here and watch people play poker for
Right.
hours. And I'll listen to the commentary because while she's playing that video game, she's like, if you go over left over
Right.
here and you hit the circle twice,
Right.
and she's talking, and you're like, you learn something from the commentary. I think it's amazing.
My sister,
it's a good way to learn.
She does video. She works for the Rangers, Knicks. She works for Madison
Okay.
Square Garden. She did Madison Square Garden had not in the main thing, but in the Palladium, which is not called the Palladium anymore, but the downstairs thing. They had the World Championships of video games or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And she's doing camera
Sponsored by Monster.
sponsored by God knows what, Red Bull, Monster,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And the place was packed. I mean, they're giving out scholarships now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in the wrong business.
Well, that's just, yeah, but back.
I know.
So with us, it was you go get a job and you work there 40 years.
And you die.
And you die there. You get a pension, that was that. But now it's, look at all these options they have. When I was in Colorado working Coca-Cola, we had, we were selling energy drinks, of course.
Of course.
When they came out and were really big. But there was, and I know they're even bigger now, these places, but a guy owned 4 locations in Colorado Springs where you would go in and they're, huge TVs and all the video games and all the consoles and you don't need anything. You just walk in and you play video games for as long as you want, right?
Yeah.
But then he would have lock-ins.
God.
So everybody would come in and at like 9 o'clock at night, the door would lock and it wouldn't unlock until like 6 in the morning. They'd stay up all night playing fucking video games.
And
I
I mean, hey, it's just a different way of doing your bit. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too is I say I assume when you were growing up, and I know when I was growing up, you're outside playing, right, in traffic.
Yeah.
And you were figuring shit out. You weren't thinking you were figuring shit out.
Right.
But that you were just figuring shit out. I want to climb this tree. And you fucking climbed it. You didn't say, okay, I'm going to, of course you went, okay, I need to grab this branch and do it.
You
But
just did it.
you're problem solving, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, the problem solving
Yeah.
is that they're on a video game. They're watching a video game and they're like, okay, for me to do this, I have to have these certain moves and,
Well, I think that the hardest thing for the different generations to understand is, like you said, you're doing all the same skills. You're just doing it in a new way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
people are like, that's not the way to. No, that's not the way you fucking did it.
I
That's
will-
just the way it is now.
I will say this, I'm tired of paying dues. It seems like you're always paying dues. And,
Yeah.
and I mean, you switch jobs, you do this, you do that. And then
Yeah.
you get somebody that comes along and they're doing it. It's like, ugh.
yeah,
man.
but like going back to what you said, it's never easy.
It's never easy. And
never
that's the
easy.
thing. There's
But let me back you up there. I agree that it's never easy, but it doesn't have to be difficult,
no.
right? So you still have to get up and give somebody your time. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you're still giving somebody your time.
Absolutely.
You don't have one boss; you have fucking 300.
Oh, I have
however many.
I have a
cl-
4-year-old boss. That's my boss.
Well, what
But
I
you're
always
right.
say with an entrepreneur, if you got 50 customers,
You got 50
50 bosses.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's we could,
Yeah, no, it's just interesting because it's definitely a game changer. Just the way, like you were saying, is CBS, NBC, ABC going to survive?
No,
I don't know.
it's going to be Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon.
And you know what, though?
And Disney. Sorry,
I
I got to
will-
give you Disney.
Yeah, well, ABC.
That's-
But what's interesting is I'm a big PLJ fan, WPLJ. They just went off the air.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And, everybody always says that free radio is going to die. Like, you turn on the radio. And I got to tell you something.
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll ever die.
No.
Because you know why? There's always people that want to listen to something on the radio
Yeah.
in their car.
Yeah.
And yeah, podcasts are great and people like to read their books.
yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes, and I know this sounds really kind of weird, but I was devastated. I don't even know why I was devastated that they went off the air. I mean, it was just like, it's like a friend. I lost a friend.
Yeah, of course.
And you just wish that it didn't happen that way. But business is business.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
But I don't think
it's not a radio show; it's a business.
exactly, and
Yep.
it's run by sponsors and whatever. But I think that there'll always be radio. There'll always be certain things until there
Absolutely.
isn't. I mean, Facebook is going to evenally
Go
disappear,
away, sure.
and there'll be something else.
Yep, absolutely.
Just like MySpace. MySpace is
Yep.
gone, and so that's it's just what's the next great thing, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
no,
yep.
absolutely. But yeah, no, zombies. Huh?
Yep. Well, that being said, we're gonna cut this off, dude.
Ah,
We could go another long time. So
I know, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, dude. I love it, but you just have to come back.
I get if anytime
Yeah.
you want to have me, anytime you want
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
podcast on anything, I'm.
What we'll
I'm
have to do, you know what we'll do is at the end of, let's plan it, at the end of season 2 of Yellowstone,
Oh,
come on and we'll do a whole fucking episode about Yellowstone.
oh, yeah, I love that. Oh man,
We can dive into that. And
it's that every episode.
Yeah.
But no, but I just want to say thank you because
Absolutely.
it's
No,
funny.
thanks for
One of
coming
my
on.
favorite pictures is before you got married, when you were working at
GBH.
yep, you had a party. You had that party. You know, when you opened up the whole place.
Oh yeah.
And-
with Val lifting me up and
Well, we
the
were all
three of
jumping
us.
up, and it's so funny because I'm such a knucklehead. I'm looking up, and you guys are all looking in the camera, and I love that picture because it just kind of encapsulates.
moment.
It's a moment, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it was supposed to be. But I'm just really glad that Val and you are moderately in my life in terms of social media and
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
of course.
And because I think you guys are doing great stuff, and it's
thanks,
always
man.
exciting.
Yeah,
It's always
thanks.
exciting to see what people are doing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
anytime I can, help you guys out, I would love to. I still got to get you guys back in for a CPR class, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, I think my thing's expired. But
Yeah, no, I was talking
anyway.
to Val about that. Ooh, but
But-
that doesn't matter.
All right, dude. Thanks, brother.
You got it. I'll talk to you soon.
Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. As always, thanks for listening, and the support I've been getting is great. Always looking to have guests on. As I say, everybody is extraordinary, and yes, you have interesting things to say, no matter what you tell yourself. So if you want to come on, hit me up, Instagram, WKT Podcast, website, waltzkitchentable.com. Any of those will work. And hope to be talking with you soon. Much love.